I liked indie games before it was cool. I'm serious. Before Undertale and Cuphead were household names, before everyone was playing Super Meat Boy and Shovel Knight, I was cutting my teeth on indie games back in the 2000s. As such, I've played quite a few indie games that I don't see talked about much on YouTube, so I thought I would give them a moment to shine. In the description, I'll be including links to buy the games in case you find any of them interesting. I highly recommend supporting these developers. Oh, and the games are listed in alphabetical order, so don't infer anything special from the order. Here we go 10 indie games that need more love. This old school style RPG is free. That's right, free! So there's really no excuse to not try it out. Unless, well, it doesn't work on your computer or something, but you should at least see if it does. You play as Talia, a peasant girl who is tasked with stopping a dark priest from raising an evil sorcerer from the dead. Typical RPG fare, am I right? However, the journey is what makes this such a memorable experience. Charming 8-bit graphics, memorable characters, gorgeous music, a shit ton of side quests, and so many memorable places to visit. There's a village full of talking animals who want to get away from humans, a society of dragons living inside a volcano, towns inhabited by witches, fairies, elves, and you even visit the dream world. Seriously. There are even side quests inspired by fairy tales such as Cinderella, Snow White, and the 12 Dancing Princesses. It's a damn beautiful game, and no matter how many times I play it, it never fails to charm me. This is a game where you can lose hours just exploring around. This was the game that made me truly fall in love with indie games. It's actually a sequel to the aforementioned Ahriman's Prophecy, but this one actually costs money. Also, you don't need to have played Ahriman's Prophecy to enjoy this one. In fact, I hadn't played Ahriman's Prophecy when I first played this game. Much like its predecessor, this game is full of memorable characters, super fun locations, and one of the most goddamn gorgeous soundtracks in gaming history. Aaron Waltz, you are a musical genius. In addition to your main quest to save the world, there are tons of other things to do, and I mean tons. There are side quests that involve everything from curing a village of plague to finding a house for a ghost to haunt to joining a clan of militant squirrels. I swear I'm not making that up. Certain members of your party can marry each other, with amusing results. You can even buy a house in which your party members can have very entertaining conversations. The game spawns several sequels, some of which might be featured in a future video, who knows, and the series has a small but very dedicated fan base even to this day. During the 2000s, there was an overload of time management games in the indie scene, probably inspired by the success of Diner Dash. Many of them were pretty samey. You run a restaurant or a clothing store or a beauty salon or whatever, and you run around trying to satisfy impatient customers. Fun, but samey. However, in the midst of the sameness, Burger Shop stood out. Instead of just making a character run around, you actually get to prepare the food yourself. As you progress, the burgers get bigger and the meals get more and more complicated, leading to absolute chaos, but it's the fun kind of chaos. You get to serve several different bizarre customer types, each with their own food preferences and patience levels. And the humor, God, it is awesome. You can serve cowboys, surfers, and even sumo wrestlers. I'm not kidding there. Moreover, after you beat the game, a whole new set of levels unlocks. There's so much content, and it is guaranteed that you will be hungry for fast food when you finish. Yes, 2 food games in a row, and this one is going to make you hungry too. This is a more recent time management game that is as chaotic and addictive as Burger Shop. As the customers keep rolling in, you've got to make and serve their food, take out trash, wash dishes, and more. Most of the recipes have several different variations too. Maybe your customers want their salad with ranch dressing or Thousand Island dressing. Maybe they want cheese lasagna or meat lasagna. Hold the ketchup, add the ketchup. You can even compete in cooking challenges. You can also get emails with special assignments that might help you raise the prestige of your restaurant, if you complete them, that is. The game spawned 2 sequels, which are also amazing, but you should play the original first. It's an adventure game and a puzzle game all in one. You're a dim-witted knight on a quest to retrieve the famed Dragon Stone and win the heart of a princess. Or at least that's what you think. In reality, the king just sent you on the quest to get rid of you. But anyway, your noble quest involves shooting colored rocks at other colored rocks to make them disappear, kind of like in Bust a Move. However, there are a bunch of obstacles in your way, along with monsters that you have to shoot with your crossbow before they can get you. It's intense, addictive, and super challenging as it progresses, but it's challenging in a fair way. There are even multiple endings depending on whether or not you play the various bonus challenges, and the story is freaking hilarious. If you're a fan of puzzle games or adventure games, you need to try this. Ah, The Wizard of Oz, the classic story of a young girl swept up into a fantasy land, but that's not this game. Instead, this point-and-click adventure reimagines Oz in a film noir style. You play as a tough-as-nails detective named Petra, who gets sent on a missing person case, but eventually the case ends up involving the fate of all Oz. Sure, the classic Oz characters appear, but not in the way you remember. The Cowardly Lion is a sleazy lawyer, for example. I'm not kidding about that. The game also uses characters and elements from the later, less familiar Oz books, and shows what a weird and imaginative world Oz really is. The graphics are beautifully hand-drawn, the puzzles are challenging, and there are even magic spells to learn. You can also find buttons throughout the adventure that unlock pieces of concept art. It's a really unique experience that I urge you to check out if you enjoy point-and-click adventures. In this visual novel, you create your own character and attend a school of magic. But, strangely enough, this game actually doesn't feel like a Harry Potter ripoff. Although, there is a professor who resembles Snape. This game is rich with its world building and appealing characters, and you can have so many different experiences depending on the choices you make. Maybe you'll romance one of your roommates, maybe you'll run for office, maybe you'll join a secret society, or maybe you'll be forced to marry a professor. I'm not kidding about that one. There are also several exams that take place in the school dungeons involving hands-on magic use. The really cool thing about the exams is that they can have multiple solutions depending on your skills and which spells you learn. It's a neat way to exercise creative thinking. A sequel came out last year and that game is also amazing, but I definitely recommend playing the original first. This mega RPG comes in 5 parts. Yes, 5! You are Marine, a young peasant girl who sets out to gather 13 warriors to take on the oppressive ruling body. We have a huge world to explore, a ton of side quests, an epic story full of twists, and you can jump. Trust me, it's a lot of fun to jump. In addition, the music is downright flooring. The overworld theme is one of my favorite video game tracks of all time, and just thinking about it gives me the shivers. The thought of buying 5 games to get the full story might seem intimidating, but fortunately, Steam will frequently put all 5 games on sale at the same time, usually for just a few bucks a piece. That's a damn sweet deal for something so awesome. And if none of this convinces you, well, Marine has a fairy living in her earring. How cool is that? It's an RPG, it's a visual novel, it's a dating sim, and it's in space. It's a combination that, surprisingly, works really well. You can pick one of 2 characters to play, and you set off on a mission to save the galaxy with some really colorful crewmates. It's got a surprisingly deep turn-based battle system, which you wouldn't think would be possible in a visual novel engine like Ren'Py, but this game pulls it off. It makes the battles really fun and exciting. You can go exploring a strange planet in space vehicles, decide whether or not to form an alliance with an alien race, use your free time to socialize, train, or relax, try to woo your crewmates. You have so much control. That's one of the things I love about good visual novels, the amount of control you have over your character's actions. And oh boy, is this a good visual novel. This game also got a sequel last year, and while I haven't yet played it, I'm sure it's as good as the original. Do you like old school point-and-click adventure games? If so, then there's a good chance that you'll like A Tale of Two Kingdoms. In this story, inspired by Celtic mythology, you play a young soldier on a diplomatic mission to a rival kingdom in hopes of forming a strong alliance against the hostile goblins. Things seem to be going pretty well, until the king ends up dead and you are blamed for his murder. To prove your innocence, you must seek help from the fairies of the kingdom of... Sorry, I'm gonna butcher this. Ternaoga. The 16-bit graphics are so drop-dead gorgeous and atmospheric, as is the music. There are so many memorable characters, such as a mischievous puka who talks in rhyme, and a giant who befriends you if you make the right decisions. The puzzles take some real thinking to solve, and there are even multiple endings. It feels like a long-lost gem from the golden age of adventure games. So there you have it, 10 indie games that need more love. Again, links to purchase all the games will be in the description. I hope you will consider trying some of them out. I might do another list like this sometime. There are definitely more than enough hidden indie gems to fill a bunch of these lists. In the meantime, the description also includes links to buy my fantasy novel, The Secret of Neva, along with my game blog where I play Star Wars video games. Feel free to check those out as well. Until next time, stay safe and wear masks.